Hello everyone, once again, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Now we know we're connected to YouTube because we can see our numbers of people finding their way over. And here's that stool again. God, okay. How is everybody? We're sorry for what happened this morning or just a little while ago. We don't know what happened. We know that we created the feed because we could see you commenting, but you know, it's been a couple of days, huh? Well, we are so glad that you are here. We're excited about today's video because I'm going to show you a technique that really helps me as a crafter create the look of no-line coloring without knowing how to do no-line coloring. I don't know how to do it. I am always mesmerized by it because it's so beautiful, but I just don't know how to do it. But before we get started, I want to start off by saying that for anybody that's been in the path of both Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, I know a lot of you are really struggling right now. Some of you are displaced, you're staying in hotels, family and friends. We are praying for you. We are thinking about you. We love you. You're part of our community, and we worry about you. In our Facebook group, I started a little thread just for people from the impacted areas to just check in and let us know how you're doing. So if you can find that thread, we're kind of containing it all to that thread, so there's not a million posts. But we want to know, and I'm going and reading all the comments, so we want to know how you're doing, and hopefully you made it through unscathed. That was quite something. I think most of the country was up all night worrying along with you and watching and praying and hoping for the best. So we want you to know that you are truly in our thoughts and in our prayers. All right, now, before we start doing this technique, and I keep looking over at my little sample here because it's pretty cool. Let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Whoo!
I was running. I had to run to my computer all the way like down the hall and to set up the new stream.
What is the theme? Faux is the theme? Because that was a faux start.
It really was. I don't know what happened. We went live on Facebook and everybody was like, hey, and we're like, that doesn't look right. And I think we went live on Twitch too. So, you know.
Okay.
If this is the worst thing that happens today,
oh my gosh,
we're in pretty good shape, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, we are so glad we're here. Glad you're here. Do you have a word of the day? Come on.
I have a word of the day.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, shall we start the technique?
Let's go.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to start with a stamp set. Now, the stamp set that I want to use today is the Holiday Floral stamp set. Oh, I am in a little tight. I love this stamp set. This stamp set and die set and coloring stencil set are all going to be available on Tuesday night. A la carte. I know a lot of you are waiting for this who didn't get the kit, and this is going to be available a la carte. So you'll be able to buy the stamp and die bundle, and you'll be able to buy the coloring stencils. And don't forget to get those coloring stencils because it does make it easier to color. I know not everybody loves them. Some people like to color, but we do have these available as well coming. And I'm going to be using the poinsettia. I'm going to use a rose or two. I'm going to be using a few leaves here, and then I'm going to be using one of the greetings, probably the Merry Christmas greeting. I may even do that in Poly-Glaze just to have some sparkle on this card. But I think you're really going to like this technique. Now, raise your hand if no-line coloring intimidates you, because my hand is totally raised. This is one technique that has not been my friend over the years. And I know that it's a matter of practice, and I know practice makes perfect, but perfect is not the standard here at Gina K Designs. Better than horrible is the standard. So when you see this technique, and I'm going to give you a little peek, okay, that's what we're going to make. Look at how pretty that is. That is what we're going to do. Doesn't that look just like no-line coloring? I think it does. So this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to get a piece of our Gina K Designs layering weight white cardstock. And I'm just going to trim it down here to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I might do more than one, but we'll see. And then I am going to use my MISTI for this. Now, it's really important that you use your MISTI, and it's important that once you position your stamps that you leave them where they are, okay? You don't want to move them once you have them in place. So I'm going to start with this right here. I'm going to pop this one up in this corner. And then I'll use the berries. I think I want the berries. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just do some more greenery with this one. So I definitely want 2 of the roses. Christmas roses are always pretty. So I'll do the big rose and then the side view rose. And then I'll do the eucalyptus. I feel like that's like eucalyptus there. And then I think I'm going to do... I'll do all the greenery here because we're going to want some extra greenery in the mix. And then I think I'm going to stamp like some of the pine, but I'll stamp that in like a pine green color. So I'm going to stamp all of these. And once, let's make sure that this is stuck down enough. I'm going to use some purple tape for this because I feel like the purple tape was a little bit stronger than the pixie tape. So I'm going to just take some purple tape and tape down this mat. This is my old purple tape. They don't make it anymore, but you could use painter's tape or washi tape or anything that you want. I just really want to make sure my mat stays in place for this. Okay. Alrighty. I think that's good. All right, so I am going to stamp these with some Kraft ink. That's the first color I'm going to use here is Kraft. And I'm only stamping these with Kraft ink because I want to be able to see them. We need to be able to see them to do the technique. Now, you can use amalgam ink if you want. Some people really like the warm glow for no-line coloring. But I feel like Kraft dries super fast, and because we're not doing actual no-line watercolor where we need an amalgam ink, because you can't use this because this isn't waterproof ink. But if you're doing real no-line watercolor, then definitely use the amalgam. But this is good enough to help me see what I'm doing. All right, so you guys can see that okay, right? We've got a good view here. All right, now what we're going to do is I'm just going to move this, but you want to make sure that you leave all of these stamps on here. So I'm just going to move this down here so I have room to get my stencils into the mix. Now the first color I want to use is Red Hot. I'm going to do all my flowers in red because I want this to be a Christmas card and I want there to be lots of bright red on this card, red and green. Okay, this is going to be really easy. Now I just have to find the position here of the inside of this. I don't know how I stamped it and how I turned it. Probably should have looked at it. In fact, I might even have the stencil backwards. No, I don't. Let's see. We'll find it. It'll just take a minute. I really should look. Let me look at the picture. Sometimes it helps when you look at the picture and you figure out which way you have it on your... Okay, I think I have it that way. Yes, I do. I have it that way. So when you have it turned that way and you have the stencil... Okay, so that should do it. Let me look at it again. It makes more sense to actually peel the stamp off and put it in the right direction. There we go. Okay, so there it is. Now I'm going to tack this down just with my magnet. And I'm going to get some of my smaller blending brushes. So I'm going to be using these little babies today instead of the big ones. And I am going to tape this stencil down so it doesn't move. Yeah, Mindy, I thought I had it flipped upside down, but I didn't have it flipped upside down. I just had the stamp in a weird position, and because it's such light ink, I couldn't really see it. All right, I'm going to use a small blending brush here, and I'm going to start in the middle and just kind of work my way out, catching those edges. I'm going to go back and just kind of go around the perimeter a little bit and catch some of the edges to kind of define them a little bit. Okay. Now, if you want, you can go into this and you can add a darker color in the center if you want. That's totally fine to do. But I'm going to pull this stencil up, and now I'm going to do the part that's supposed to be leaves. I'm going to do that with red as well, because I just want this to be a big old poinsettia, big old bright red poinsettia, and I'm not worried about any greenery on here. And you can do that. That's something I really meant to show you earlier when I've made cards with this, that you can have this whole thing be red. So I'm going to catch the edges there and go lighter as I go out. And if you want, you can use something like the color Faded Brick if you want to create a little bit of depth in each of these leaves. So you could come in tight along the edges. Let me see if I have Faded Brick close by. I do. So you could take like a detail blending brush with a little bit of Faded Brick on there and just kind of darken the insides a little bit with that, just to create some separation between the top leaves or petals. They're actually all leaves, believe it or not. I found out that with poinsettias, the red part is not the flower. It's the tiny little yellow doodads in the center that's actually the flower. Everything else is a leaf. That doesn't seem right to me. But look at that. See, when you add that little bit of extra in there, it makes the top part pop out. So isn't that simple? Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get the other coloring stencil, and we'll do the little roses here. So we'll do this one first.
Can you zoom in just a hair?
Sure. Yeah. How's that?
Yes.
Does that look good? Okay. All right, and I know that looks a little light and pale out there, and some of you may not like that. So if you don't like that, we can always go in and make that just a little less pale around the edge. I don't mind it too much, but I know some people don't. Some people yell at me and say, you left too much white. So I'll just fill that in a little bit there. Okay. Now we're going to go with this flower. And I'm going to tape this down too. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys can see it better. I'm still out of breath from running from one side to the other after restarting the live. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with the red. I'm going to kind of come up from the bottom a little darker here, and then work my way up so it gets a little more fadey as it goes to the top. Now, this isn't necessarily the way that a no-line color, like if Karen Hightower or Mindy Egan, if they were doing this, they know how to do it. Me, I'm just doing it like a crafter having fun. So if you're like me and you're just a crafter having fun, you're going to love this technique. Okay. So there we go. That's the rose, the first rose. Yeah, I'm always mesmerized watching Karen and watching Mindy do their magic. They're very good. So if you want to learn real no-line coloring, watch them. If you want to learn fake stuff, watch me. Tom, you've got to come up with a word of the day that has something fake in it.
See what I can do.
Okay. Let me get this back in position. I kind of shifted it a little bit. And I think the hardest part, you know, if your eyes are mature like mine are, just make sure you have good lighting so you can see the actual lines here. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll start down here at the bottom, dark, and work our way up. So it's a little bit lighter. So we're not really like getting in all the areas and creating all the little shading and stuff, but we're creating some shading, and that's going to be good. Okay, a little blotchiness there, but that's all right. Okay, so there we have our second rows. Now let's stop there because we're kind of done with the red, and I am going to clean these stencils to get rid of the red completely. But now what we're going to do is we're going to stamp back over these again. So we're going to get this back into position up at the top here, and we're going to stamp over these again. But we're going to first try it with a little bit of the red hot, okay? So go ahead and just ink these. Now we could have done these just the red ones first and then gone back and done the green ones. Might have been a little easier, but I think this will work. And we're going to just add a little bit of red onto that. See, now we've got our details coming through. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that so pretty? Now for the center here, let me see if I have a sponge dauber. So for the center, I want to darken that center just a little bit. Tell me this isn't like the easiest thing ever. And doesn't it look like no line coloring? Come on. And you know I don't know how to do that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this red hot. I know I'm really close, but I'm just using this sponge dauber and I'm just rubbing over this red hot. I mean, not red hot, faded brick. And I'm just going to dab a little bit of that faded brick into the center here of this poinsettia, just to darken that a little bit. Okay. So I did kind of move it, but that's all right. I still think it looks really good. It actually looks really dimensional. I kind of like it. Let's see if I can get a little bit more in there. Make sure this is in the right spot. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, that's so pretty. I love that. Okay, so now I could add a little bit to this too. A little bit of faded brick. Just going to dab it on the top there. Just to define that a little bit more.
So Tracy wants to know, why did you stamp in light color and not in red hot first?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because sometimes when you're ink blending dye ink over dye ink, it'll smear. And I really wanted to reserve the most detail for the final stamping. So I didn't want that darker red to smear and then not look nice and crisp on top, if that makes sense. But isn't that so easy? Like super simple. Super simple. Okay, so now I'm going to just move it down. The only reason I'm moving it down is because I can't fit the stencil in up there real well. But let me clean these stamps off and we'll get rid of them. That to me, especially with doing that second layer in the red as well. Now red does stain your stamps, so you're gonna have stainy stamps if you use red, but that's okay. Stained stamps are loved stamps. See, all this technique, you guys are going to want to try this. And you could try it with any of our stamp sets that have those delicate layering stencils. I do not know why I can't find how this goes. There we go. If you put it on your stamp sheet right, you will have less of a problem trying to figure out how to line up the coloring stencil. Okay. Now I'm going to stencil these with some fresh asparagus. So let me move this out of the way and clean these stencils because red is a bear. And it will get all over the place. You're a stencil hoarder, Joanne? I am too. I love stencils, but the coloring stencils,
So Connie wants to know, would the Kraft colored ink work like this with all the other colors of ink?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, so let me just say this. The only thing that I think when it comes to no-line coloring is I would prefer a light gray if I was doing a cool color. So if I was going to do blues, we can try one in the blues. Let's just try one after we do this in the blues, and we'll try the gray. And the reason why I like gray with the cool colors is because I think gray is a nice cool color. It works really nicely that way. And the warm colors like the reds, the oranges, the yellows, the peaches, the Kraft works a little bit better because Kraft is a warm tone. So I would say go with a real light gray, like maybe our soft stone, when you're using the cool colors, blues, maybe purples. And then when you're using the warm colors, like the greens, the reds, the oranges, the yellows, then use the Kraft. Okay. Now, I mean, that would take a while to actually create, I think, the no-line coloring way. So I'm going to color this one, and I'm going to use fresh asparagus. Get some more fresh asparagus in there, deepen it up a little bit. Okay. Already that looks pretty. And then for these other ones, I'm also going to use fresh asparagus. So we'll have our greens being very consistent. I think we're going to have to do this technique a little bit more together in some of these videos to perfect it. I think it's looking pretty good. My worst problem is that my Misty moved, my matte moved. But that's not the worst thing in the world. It would be a little more crisp. But we can try it with blues too and then see which one we like. Because we have some time. Why not? At this point, we're all off our schedule anyway. Having to restart the video. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that same color again. I'm going to go with the fresh asparagus again. And we always have to remember to put our cardstock back up in that corner. And then we're going to stamp all of these with fresh asparagus. So we're stamping them again to deepen up the color. Now let's just let that sit for a minute, because as the ink dries up, the dark lines of the fresh asparagus are going to get a little bit lighter. Now that we've done this one, I'm just going to put this aside. Let's try it with some blues, and let's try stamping the green the second time in a lighter shade of green to see what that all looks like. And we'll do the original colors in gray. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do these up here I want to get them kind of away from each other. So it'll make it a little easier. And I think the colors I'm going to use are Sea Glass, Turquoise Sea, and Tranquil Teal. So we'll stamp this first in gray. So let me get my soft stone. All right, soft stone it is. So real light gray. And if you're doing real no-line coloring and you're looking for a gray, Whisper is a great color. So we can see that. This kind of looks like Poly-Glaze. Okay, so that looks good. Now I'm going to move this down to here for my flowers. And I'm going to put this on right. See how it's facing the right way on the stamp now, on the stamp sheet? So it should be easier for me to line up. It's kind of fun to do the non-traditional stuff. I don't want this to move. All right, and I'm going to stamp these with gray. This is moving. I think I need a much stronger tape under here. If your mat moves, it's a problem. And I don't think this tape is just not strong enough for this. I have some washi tape here. This is much stickier. It's glittery washi tape. I don't know where I got it. That's not going to work though. Let's find a better tape. I need a better tape. I used to use the purple tape, which was super good, super strong.
I'll get you some duct tape.
Duct tape? Ooh, that might work. If you have duct tape. I'll try this washi tape. Do you have duct tape in the room? I don't want you to have to leave to get duct tape.
I do.
You do?
Oh, in here?
Yeah.
No.
No? Okay. Well, then I'll just try this. This is pretty sticky washi tape. It has to stick.
You could have had duct tape.
I know, I could have had duct tape.
It's going to move.
It might not. I took the purple tape off, the original purple tape, and I ran out of it. It was good. I think that's sticking pretty well. Yeah, duct tape, you can't beat duct tape. All right, so this
I actually used it on a duct once.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I used to think it was duck tape.
I think that's a brand.
Oh, it is?
Might be.
Just duck?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to use the same stencil here. I'm not even going to clean it. And we'll do the fresh asparagus again. You know, sometimes we get the words wrong, right? It's okay. There we go. Looking pretty good. But how many of you are excited to try this? I mean, this really makes you look like you know what you're doing. And then we're going to use a gel pen on the center of that poinsettia to just pop the center out a little bit. Okay. And this one. I feel like I'm more likely to smear the red than the green. I wasn't as nervous about not cleaning the green stencil. Okay, there we go. Let's get that lined up just a hair better. There we go. Okay. Now let's stamp this with a lighter green, just so that it's not like so dark. Although you can kind of see this is already kind of blending in pretty well. But let's go with jelly bean green. All right, hopefully that's in the same spot. So we're just adding, and jelly bean green and fresh asparagus are both olivey greens, which is nice. Oh, see, you're right, Tom. I did move that, and it's not in the same spot anymore because the thing shifted.
So what do you have to do those over?
Well, I'll use the other ones. It's not a big deal. I want to focus more on these. But
So you need some duct tape.
I do need duct tape. You gonna go get me duct tape so the Misty stays good? We'll work on this instead. I can't look at it. I can't look at it when it's smeared. All right, let's do the sea glass. We'll do sea glass. And then, oh no, put the lid on the wrong thing too. So we'll start with sea glass and the center stencil. So this should be, see, it's easier to line up because I actually put it on straight. I'm gonna wait until, I'm not gonna move the mat though, because I changed the position of the mat before I stamp these. So I'm not gonna move it this time, but I'm gonna move it if I do the leaves again. All right, so I'm gonna start in the center here with some sea glass and work my way through. Can you see how that pale gray is just like a good color for this? We're gonna go over it with a turquoise, but I really like the pale gray there. And I'm going heavier around the edges because I want to create that separation again between the two layers. And I like to see that darkness around the perimeter. Okay. So that looks really good, right? Now, I'm going to do this layer. And I'm going to do this again with sea glass, but then I'm going to come along and add like some Tranquil Teal detail real close to the edge, real close to the center. So we'll I hear Tom. Do you guys hear Tom coming down the hall with his duct tape? Do you find it?
Yes.
Awesome.
The warehouse was in an uproar.
You took the duct tape? Oh, he does have duct tape. Okay, and now I'm going to get just a little bit of Tranquil Teal on a detail brush.
You never refuse an offer of duct tape.
No, I know. Duct tape is the... If I was falling off a cliff, I would want somebody to throw me duct tape instead of a parachute.
Then you'd be falling with a roll of duct tape.
No, do you remember, Tom, when we played in our band and all the cords that we would wrap up from all the equipment and how they would always get tangled no matter how neat you would do them?
Yes, I do.
I always thought that if I was falling off a cliff, rather than a parachute, just throw me one of those cords. Okay, ready for the separation here? Look at that. You know, the gray by itself looks really pretty for no-line coloring. I have to admit, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to take my chance here and I'm going to double stamp it. I almost don't want to, but I do want to because I want to see what it's going to look like. So I'm going to go with a lighter color here. I'm going to use Turquoise Sea. I'm not going to go as dark as Tranquil Teal. And I'm going to use another sponge dauber that I have here with some teal on it already. It's almost like you don't want to like mess it up, because it does look like no line coloring right now. But I want to add some blue in there. So let's just see what this does. Please work. Oh yeah, look. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So Turquoise Sea is a great color for that. It's just enough. You know, if you went teal, I think the line would be like too harsh. This just makes it feel more, oh my goodness, I feel like Mindy and Karen, and I'm not even that good. Can't help it. Oh, I did the little one here. That's all right. It'll work. All right, we're going to do the same thing with this, but we don't really have the ability to create that second layer on this one, but that's okay. We're still gonna look good. I'm gonna hold it here. We'll just get that dark edge. And then we'll bring it up to lighter. Kind of liking the blue here. I have all the ink pads open. I don't know which turquoise is what. Okay, we'll do that. And then we'll do this little baby one up here. This is just a fun technique. It makes you feel like you know what you're doing. I love techniques that make me feel like I know what I'm doing, especially when I don't know what I'm doing. It's so empowering. Look at the depth on the poinsettia, Tom.
Deep.
Deep, right? Okay.
Jumping off the page.
All right. So let's add a little turquoise to these. If I can pull it off. Sure, it sticks when you don't want it to stick. Okay. Now I've got the Turquoise Sea again here. Just going to do the two flowers. Yeah, look at that. That is pretty. I didn't stamp outside of this. I just didn't stencil inside of it. So I can go back and fix that very easily here with just putting the stencil right back on there and just catching that edge a little bit. Like that. Probably should use the darker color. I got sea glass in there, but I need the turquoise, the Tranquil Teal in there. I think that's good. Good enough. Okay, so I love the way this looks. I'm very jazzed about the way this looks. I like the way this looks too. I like them both, actually, but I feel kind of bad that this one's double stamped. So what time is it? Oh, we got time because we're going to go a little longer. You don't have anywhere to be, do you, Tom?
I do not.
All right, well, we're going to go a little long today then. And we're going to do one more red one so we can experience that together again. And then we'll do one more green set and we'll use the jelly bean just to see how that looks. Now you could try just stamping the Turquoise Sea if you want, but there is that risk because they're both dye ink that you're going to lose some of the detail or that you're going to get it too dark on the lines and then you're going to smear it and then you won't get that bright crisp line. So I kind of like doing the Kraft. I don't think this is the cardstock I want. I want some, this is Artist's Choice, which is a great cardstock if you color with colored pencils and Copic markers and you don't use Gamsol. it's a great cardstock because it's got a little bit more of a tooth. The Copics will bleed a little bit better, and some people who do Copic markers or Olo markers like that bleed. They feel like it absorbs in there and they can blend better. But if you're using Gamsol or you're using ink blending, the Gina K Designs Layering Weight White is definitely the way to go. Okay, I think that's good enough. I can see it. Now I gotta clean this. And we're gonna use those colors again. So this way, if anybody was struggling to find us, I think there's a lot more of you here now than there was earlier when we first started. Oh yes, there's a lot. Welcome everybody. We are doing a faux no-line coloring today. This is a very easy technique to do.
Kathy wants to know, why is it called no-line coloring?
Well, because it's supposed to look like you almost painted it or drew it yourself, as opposed to stamping that black line that goes around the outside. There's still a line. When you see people's no-line coloring, they do accentuate the line a little bit with whatever, even the lighter ink that they use. You can still see the details in the stamps. But the line isn't black. And I think that's what makes it look more like you almost hand drew it. You know, as opposed to you get that black ridge around the outside. That black line around the outside. It just looks different. So let's do the reds again. And we're going to do the red hot, and then we're going to add a little bit of the faded brick in there. It is fun to see. I mean, I think purples would be really good. And you know what? If you wanted to do purples or you wanted to do pinks, you could use the carnations, the light, medium, and dark carnation. You could do the light, medium, and dark lilac. And I think it would be absolutely beautiful. All right, we'll start in the center here and work our way around. I do like the just the really delicate lines that are in there right now, but I don't feel like it's like vibrant enough for me. I feel like you have to go back and get some of that color on there. But somehow, like when I watch the people that do the no-line coloring, and I know Mindy's here, I think. I don't know if Karen's here. I haven't looked up enough to see who's commenting. But like Mindy, when you're doing your no-line coloring, do you like add color real close to the lines, or is it just the ink that actually creates those lines for you? Because it sure looks like, I mean, I saw like that blue card, that teal card that Karen Hightower did recently. I shared it on my Instagram and on our Facebook page. And it looks like she goes in with a tiny brush and just accents the lines. I'm probably wrong because I don't know how to do it. But
Joanne wants to know, what color would you use with Peach Bellini?
Peach Bellini, I think I would use either Coral Reef or Dusty Rose. Dusty Rose is a really pretty color with Peach Bellini. Now there's a chart in our Facebook group, and I did post it on my community tab on YouTube. So if you're a YouTube watcher, you could find it on my YouTube community tab too, of all of the different colors, the Gina K Designs colors in trios. So even though we don't have a light, medium, and dark turquoise, we've got Sea Glass, Tranquil Teal, or Sea Glass, Turquoise Sea, and Tranquil Teal. So we have the same kind of blend of color, they just don't all have the same name. And I shared a chart that shows you which colors would work. So you could find that chart, and then you could use that chart to figure out which color to stamp the lines in. Just go like one shade down. All right, I'm using faded brick here. Faded brick with the reds is like the perfect color.
Okay, and again, if you could explain what you did, you used, actually Gail asked the question, what color please for that first stamping? Did I hear to change that with warm and cool colors? So you did Kraft, the first one, right?
I did Kraft. The blue, look at that.
Whoa.
The blue one I used soft stone because I wanted a gray instead. But with this one, I used Kraft because I'm using a warmer tone. All right, so now what we're going to do, I'm not going to color these because I have these other ones and they'll work just fine. I just didn't want that double stamped. So block everything here. That really looks very no line colored. So I'm going to try it with Red Hot first, and then we'll accent the center a little bit with faded brick.
Is there a reason why you didn't use amalgam ink for your initial stamping?
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that perfect? Well, I only use amalgam ink when I'm using watercolor products because amalgam ink takes longer to dry and you have to heat set it. And because I'm doing a demo today and I'm not using water, it doesn't matter. Our dye inks work great with our regular inks. They work great with Copic markers, and they work great with Gamsol. All right, so now I'm using a sponge dauber, and these are finally back in stock, by the way, and I'm inking this up with some faded brick, and I'm just going to accent the center. So it's just a little bit darker in the center. Yes. There we go. And now we've got our detail. That's nice. I like it. I like it. Yeah, so if you want to learn no-line coloring, talk to Mindy, talk to Karen. If you want to learn fake no-line coloring, just watch this video a couple of times. So we're going to use this, and we'll just use these two over here. I think they'll work. Although I'm not thrilled with that one. Maybe we'll do that one again. Why not? Why not? I watched lately, and I see that you guys don't mind staying around a little bit longer, so we'll just do that. All right, I'm using the same Red Hot that's on this brush here. I might need to reload, but maybe not. And then I've got faded brick in here. I'll just add a little faded brick around the outside. Okay. Tell me this isn't a fun technique. All right, I'm gonna get rid of this because I don't want anything to happen to that one. That is exactly the way I want it to be, and I don't want to mess it up. But remember, it's really important that you don't take your stamp off until you're completely done. All right, we're gonna do this one with Red Hot. So we're gonna do that again. Just to add some of that detail. Yep, that's good. That's all we need, is that little bit of detail. Should we do the last one? We might as well make them color match. Make them all match. I love coming up with ways to look good. What's the saying? It's better to look good than to feel good. To look good, but it's super easy. And, you know, I am a path of least resistance stamper. I like to use the easier techniques, the stuff that's just quick and easy, makes a great card. So this is definitely one of those techniques that I think you guys will enjoy trying. And again, you saw some of my mistakes and some of the things that can go wrong. So, you know, you don't see me being too frustrated about it, right? It's just paper. We could just make another one. So if you're going to do it, go ahead and give it a try. And like, if it, you know, something doesn't work out, just throw it away and make another one. It's not the end of the world. I know people get really frustrated, like when they stamp and it double stamps. I mean, I do too, but at least with this technique, you're double stamping over something that took 2 seconds to do and not something that took, you know, an hour and a half to do of coloring. All right, I do not want faded brick for this. I want red hot for this. Yes, I'm going to start sharing sneak peeks of our October release later today, because we've got a lot of cool things coming. There's like a goober on that. We've got a lot of cool things coming, and I feel like everybody just needs to have their mind taken off of stuff. So sneak peeks are always a great way to do that. There we go. So that gave us our lines. Okay, so should we try the jelly bean one that I wanted to do with the leaves, and then we'll die cut these and we'll turn it into a card? Why not? Let's do it. Yeah, our next release is going to be on October 15th, which is this Tuesday coming up. And we've got some really cool things coming. Really cute things. There's not a kit this time. And the reason there's not a kit is because I actually have, of my own, 3 different stamp sets, and 2 of them are Stamp and Die bundles. And then we've got 2 really cool standalone stencils. And I just felt like a kit was going to be too much this month. But I'm telling you, you're going to be happy when you see what's coming. This is kind of a part 2. It's half and half. It's part 2 of our holiday release. So for those of you that were waiting for some special things, I will tell you that we have some really cool things for Hanukkah. We have some really cool things for Christmas. And then we've got some really cool stuff for people who are kind of sick of Hanukkah and Christmas and are ready for the next thing. So really fun stuff. And then I'm going to be using all of the things, including these stamps and stencils and dies from the last kit, which will be available a la carte, to continue to make holiday cards and tags. I mean, it is only October, so we've got lots of time to make projects still. So I'm not done with this kit. I'm not done with the Poly-Glaze. I'm not done with any of that. We're going to keep going.
So a few viewers are asking, what is a good red trio?
A good red trio? So I have to look, but I think what I posted was Coral Reef, Red Velvet, and Faded Brick. They work really nicely together. See, I have red on my fingers. I'm so bad with red. All right, so we're going to do a little fresh asparagus here. On that one, on this one, and then we're going to stamp these with jelly bean this time. We could use grass green too. Grass green is a really good green to mix with fresh asparagus. Maybe we'll use grass. They all, grass, jelly bean, and fresh asparagus, all have that little yellowy green feel to them, where our light, medium, and dark spruce and our Christmas pine and lucky clover, well, especially spruce and Christmas pine, they have a little bit more of a blue undertone to the green. And then our Lucky Clover and our Apple Mint would be more green. Like Lucky Clover just feels like it's a great green crayon green. Like if you just want green. So definitely lots of greens in our collection. I think we even have a sage too, or a dark sage. That one is going to be discontinued though, dark sage. So, you know, if you're looking for that, you might want to pick that up. It's just because we've got other colors in the mix, and I think that one doesn't get as much love from our customers as we had hoped. So, let me get the grass green. So here's grass green. You can see from the lids, these are all in the yellow green family, and this is a great layering trio right here. Jelly bean, grass green, and fresh asparagus. So we'll go with that medium color here, and let's hope for the best. Okay. Yeah, there it is. That is just the right amount. And when that dries down a little bit, the color actually lifts and it'll get a little bit lighter. And I think that's going to be a great one. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll get some fresh asparagus and I will stamp the pine leaves, and then we'll cut all this out and we'll make a little card. So the pine leaves, I've got this pine sprig here and this one here. So we'll just stick those in the corner. And we will stamp these with fresh asparagus, just to keep all the greens the same. That looks good. You can mix. Might even be fun to take a little Christmas pine, which, you see what I mean when I say it's more blue compared to do maybe a little bit of it. I just like didn't do the whole thing, just little touches of it. Just to create some shading. Can you see the shading in there now? It's really hard to see on the camera, but I've got some that are like the fresh asparagus and some pine needles that are a little bit more blue. All right. So I know I'm missing questions, Tom.
So request for a turquoise trio ink set. Do we not have one of those?
A turquoise trio?
Yeah.
We do. We have, well, we don't, the reason I haven't done a turquoise is because we have the best turquoise trio already in our collection, which is Sea Glass, Turquoise Sea, and Tranquil Teal. They would be the exact colors that I would have done had I done them and called them all the same name. So that's one collection that I'm not sure that we'll make because we already have that. But we may do another ones in just blues, because we need some more blues in our collection. But if you're looking for a great trio of ink, they are the ones right there. Turquoise Sea, Tranquil Teal, and Sea Glass. They're beautiful together.
Did you say where that trio chart on ink trios was?
Yeah, so I'll post it again on the community tab here on YouTube, and I'll just link it again, bring it out front on Facebook. But they are posted in our Facebook group and also on our YouTube community tab. Now I'm going to put this back in the wrong spot again. Okay, so I think for this one, I might add a little sparkle. So I've got my fuse here, and I think it's already plugged in. So I think I'm gonna do one of these greetings. Now, I've been doing Merry Christmas for like every card. So I want to use some of these Happy Holidays. So maybe I will use that today. And I definitely think, because I'm gonna go with the reds, I think I'll do gold. Let me find the gold. So if you're new to the Fuse, I have several videos on my YouTube channel, a whole playlist actually of videos on my YouTube channel that will tell you exactly what I'm doing here. But basically what I'm doing is I'm going to add foil to one of these designs, and these designs are from our Poly-Glaze sheets. And our Poly-Glaze sheets are sheets that are printed with a special Poly-Glaze material, and it will grab foil when you put foil on top of it, and then you put it through our Fuse foiling system. You can also use the Mink if that's the tool that you have, or you can use a household laminator. However, disclaimer, laminators are tough because most of them you can't set the temperature. This has 6 different temperature settings. We use setting 3 for this. And you can't set the temperature, and you sometimes you can't get it hot enough. And it's really important that it's hot enough. But it's also important that it's not too hot, because I know some people have been doing Poly-Glaze on setting 4. And in my opinion, setting 4 is too hot. And what happens is you get overspray, and you'll get foil where you don't want it. So setting 3 is the ideal setting for Poly-Glaze. I'm just cleaning up all my ink spots all over with a little alcohol here, because I will definitely ruin everything. So use setting 3 on your Fuse or on your Mink if you have a Mink, because you can set those as well. And then I have a Swiffer duster here. I've been using the same one forever. But you want to make sure that you dust your piece of Poly-Glaze and you dust the back of the foil so you don't get any dust in between, because that will prevent the foil from sticking if there's any dust. Like anywhere that there's dust, you might see a little mist foil spot. And then I'm going to send this through the Fuse with the folded side of this sheet first. All right. There we go. So now I'm going to use these, and I'm going to use these. This one? No, I'm going to use this one. This one right here. Oh, they're so pretty, aren't they? That's fun. And then I'm going to cut a couple circles. I think I'll do a small oval. Let me do an oval, because I'm going to use an oval as a little grounding area for it. And then I'll use this Poly-Glazed greeting, and we're going to whip up a cute little card here. So hopefully this foiled right, because I am already committed to turning the machine off. So let's see how this looks. Did you guys see Simon Hurley's face on Tuesday night when he peeled the Poly-Glaze? He was like, oh, there we go. Look how pretty that is. That'll give us just a little sparkle on this. Now, if I was going to do the blue one, I definitely would do silver. And I have a really nice foil called Sterling that is just beautiful. That would be the right color to use, I think, for the blue. But we're going to use gold because we are using red. And I think red and gold, it's kind of like red and Kraft go really nicely together. And then gray and blue go really nicely together, the soft stone. Same with the foils. I like the silver more with the blues. All right, let me get my die cutting machine here. Ooh, that's too close. Question, can you stamp? Can you foil with the sentiment stamp with Poly-Glaze? I have a video called Foiling with Your Stamps that I just posted the other day, probably last week, or maybe it was the week before, and I show you step by step how to do that. However, it is not exactly the same as what the stamping looks like. So if you're going to do that technique, I recommend doing it with more like stamps like leaves and flowers and greenery and stuff like that. Not something that you want to be perfectly crisp. If you want something to be perfectly crisp, I definitely recommend using the Poly-Glaze designs because it's going to be more crisp. But you definitely can foil your stamps, so you know, check out that video because there's a lot of really good information in there, and it definitely shows you how to do it.
And can you use parchment paper as an extra carrier with the fuse?
You can use parchment paper. The best thing to use if you're not going to use a regular carrier sheet is get the ThermoWeb carrier sheets. They're parchment on the outside, but they're silicone lined. So you're going to get a better, you're going to get more heat. And when you have more heat, then you get better results. You need as much heat as possible. Okay, so I'm just cutting these out now. With the coordinating dies. There we go.
And question, when would you use setting 4 on the fuse?
So, setting 4, some people use setting 4 for toner sheets. Some people use setting 4. I know some people recommend using setting 4 for Poly-Glaze. I don't, but some people use setting 4 for toner sheets. And setting 5, 4 and 5 could be for more lightweight chipboard, thicker cardstock. So for example, I know some people have designs in their collection that are toner sheet designs, but they print them on a thicker cardstock. Well, a lot of people don't have great results with that because the cardstock is too thick. But if you can get more heat on it, then it doesn't matter if the cardstock is a little thicker. So you could bump your setting up to setting 4 instead of setting 3. I hope that makes sense. So Jackie, you're going to be very happy. Jackie just said, I wish there were Poly-Glaze sheets of just the Merry Christmas and the matching die. So we actually have coming out in October this month, just the greetings coming out for this stamp and die collection, because people love having the Poly-Glaze designs, but they need more greetings than are available in that pack. So the pack is a great starter set, but if you need more greetings, we're going to be offering the greetings as a standalone Poly-Glaze set so you can have more of them. All right, look at those. Those are so pretty. And then we're going to highlight the center of that to make that pop with a white gel pen. I'm going to put those aside. Like, I don't even care about the time today, obviously. I'm just taking my good old time. Because after that start, you know what? And after this week, and after us all, like, just watching the hurricane and everything, I think it's okay if we go a little over. Normally my lives are just an hour, but I feel like we got to explore a couple color combinations with this one, and we got to explore a couple mistakes, which is good. But you know what, Tom? While I'm doing this, I think people would really love it if you would share your word of the day. What do you think?
Time for the word of the day. Okay. So, sometimes I'll be in another room and I'll hear you scream from the other room, and I'll run in and I'll need to kill a bug.
Yes.
Right? You know that happens. But I've seen you kill a bug when you have to.
Yeah.
And you kill a bug like your mother used to kill a bug. You don't just like smack it or smash it, or you absolutely grind it into the wood grain.
You have to make sure.
You can't even find anything of it left.
Hey.
So I think sometimes you're not really afraid, but you just want me to kill the bug. And I think that's an example of a phobia.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
You're not really afraid, but you want somebody to do it. I don't know. Word of the day, phobia, keeping with the faux theme of our day today. And I'm back in the dead space.
Okay, I admit it. I actually don't kill bugs. Tom's just making that up. I have been known to
Evict
them with a cup. Just in case anybody from PETA is watching. Okay. I think I got this now. Now let's take a piece of white cardstock and let's cut. All right, let me look at this size here, because this size might work. I remember one time when you went away, Tom, I remember you you were like, do you need me to do anything before I go? Lift anything? Kill anything? Hey, don't these look like ephemera? Like our ephemera that we've done?
They do.
No line stuff is pretty amazing. Let's do that. And we'll just put that here. I'm just testing it out, making sure that this is going to work for me. I think it is. We'll get that up there. And then we'll just shimmy in a little bit of pine. Like that. So that's a nice layout, right? Okay. I think we'll go with this size then. So we'll cut this. I'm laughing at all the comments coming by. Hey, you're good too, though. You don't kill a bug. You always evict it too. We actually have an eviction cup in the kitchen that is only for the purpose of moving bugs that come inside to outside. And I've got one little spider that lives near my indoor garden, and I will not evict him because I think that he's helping. I think that he's taking care of the other bugs that might eat my little indoor garden. And it's just him. He just hangs out on the wall. I see him all the time. So, all right, so I've got two ovals. I cut a double-stitched and a single-stitched oval. So this is going to be my grounding area for my card. And then I'm going to cut a Master Layouts 2 out. So let me find Master Layouts 2. Oh my gosh, I think I gave that to Simon. Like, not to keep, but I think that I put it somewhere on his side of the room and I never got it back to this side of the room, so I don't know where it went. We were talking about it. Oh yeah. We gave up on that the other night, so here it is. Yeah, I think I'm more afraid of the squish. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really want to squish it. It sounds kind of bad. I don't like the sound that it makes. Tom and I have lived in some very interesting places in our lives too. When we played in a band, we used to live in band houses. Remember band houses, Tom?
Well, I had forgotten about it, but thanks.
So band houses, a lot of times when you go to like a nice resort and there's a band there, they don't live in the hotel. They live off the hotel in the band house. And the band house is not nice like the hotel. The band house usually is pretty scary. And we've lived in a few band houses, right? That we've had to evict things.
It's just like any other house, but that no repairs have ever been done in the history of the property.
Right. We lived in one band house with our band. We had a full band, and it was in St. Thomas because we lived there for a while. And there was one knife in the kitchen. It was like the community knife, and so when we would eat dinner, we had to pass the knife around and share the knife. And the handle was held on by a piece of duct tape. There's the duct tape again. Always the duct tape. So, but you know, I mean, those are the experiences in life that they mold you, they shape you, right? And they also remind you to keep your place clean. All right, I think I need to add a little something to this.
Duct tape, a shaper of lives.
Right? I'm going to add something to this. I'm going to add the snowy background because I love the snowy background. This background stamp does it for me. I'm going to add it, but I'm going to add it with some masking magic. So, gosh, is Jennifer here today? My video is going to be like a Jennifer video today. It's going to go on forever. But that's cool because I know you guys like that. So it's all right. Jennifer, if you're here and you're watching, I'm doing a Jennifer video today. A lot of information she gets into a video. All right, so I am putting 1/4" Masking Magic strips, for those of you that are new, 1/4" Masking Magic strips around the perimeter of this because we're going to jazz this up a little bit. Now, remember when I said that, you know, using the cool colors? She is here, Jennifer! Hey! I'm doing a Jennifer today. Look, it's already 1:30 and I'm still live. But part of that started because my live didn't go live on YouTube. And so now I just feel like I'm not on a time zone anymore or a time limit. So what I'm going to do is... Oh, is she making a video for me? Yay! I'm so excited. It's going to be amazing. So remember when I said, you know, the cool greens and the cool tones with the blues and then the warm with the reds? Throw that out the window for this background because I am going to use cool tones with this. I just have to find my ink pad. Here it is. I just love this color combination. So I'm going to use light spruce on this. I'm going to ink this up with light spruce. See, I never look up. I don't know who's here. So, yay. Okay. Did I get the center or did I just go around the perimeter? So I'm going to create this splatter effect just by taking this whole thing and just laying it on top here, like this, and just rubbing it all over. Just to get the splatter. Okay, so there we go. We've got that splatter. I don't think this is going to make that much of a difference when it comes to color. This is going to feel snowy. The light spruce, I know it's a green, but it definitely feels snowy to me. And then I'm going to take that blending brush that had sea glass on it. Where'd it go? No, I'm going to have to get sea glass because this is not the brush. I used the tiny brush. Let me get some sea glass and let me get Brianne's ink stand. Here it is. We all can't live in this industry without these ink stands. And then I'm going to go around the perimeter. These are available at the ink stand shop if you're looking for them. That's Brianne Loveland's shop, and she makes them for all different kinds of ink pads. And I'm just going around the perimeter because I'm kind of creating that little border around the outside. I don't have to worry too much about the center because I'm going to be covering it anyway with that oval. But that just creates like a snowy kind of wintry look. Okay, so there we go. Pulling off the borders to reveal the little stitched border. And then just, isn't that, that's just pretty, right? I like that. Okay, and we're going to layer these two panels together. Let me find my tape. Here it is. I'll zoom in a little bit when we take a look at these poinsettias. I just think that's just a pretty delicate background that'll work nicely. There we go. Ooh, is that too close? I don't think it's too close. Might be. If you're watching me on a 52-inch big screen, I apologize. That is too close. And then we'll do this little oval here. And you don't have to do this part if you don't want. You can do your layout right on your card if you want. But this video is not about the card, right? This video is about the technique, the no-line, faux no-line, faux-line coloring. Oh, that's what we should call it. Faux-line coloring. I'm going to change the name of the video as soon as I get done. Tom, I made a word of the day.
Perfect.
Faux-line coloring. I'm going to back out a little bit. That feels just too close. Okay, now I'm going to, let's get this on a card base. And I'm going to put it on a white card base because I was asking what color card base to do the other night, and Jennifer said white, and I didn't see her say white. And we ended up using colors. And then when I saw her comment, I thought, yep, should have used white. That would have been the color. So here's my score buddy. I'm just going to score this. And I think that's gonna be good because we're really gonna be focusing on the flowers and not so much like all the red from the flowers will pop on this card. There we go. Okay. Now let's pop up the oval. We'll use some of the 1/2-inch foam squares for the oval. I need more of these. These are the last of them. You know how scary that is? This color combination would have been really pretty on here. I'm just bringing it in so we can like love on it a little bit, especially because now I know Jennifer's here and she's probably thinking I should use these. But I'll use them for another card. I'll use them for your Christmas card, Jennifer. And then we'll pop that up just for some dimension. But then we'll use these reds in here. Did I lose one of the flowers already? Oh my gosh. There it is. Can't lose a flower. And then I'm going to pop up the flowers too. So I just kind of want to see where I want them first. So I'll put the flowers like this, have them touching, and then I'll fill in a little bit with the greenery. So I know I had it different before, but it's okay. It's all right to just piecemeal your greenery in there, however you see fit. But I like to lay it out first because I actually, it helps me because I put the greenery down first. Let's go in here with that, and we'll go out here with that. can do another one of these under here. Like, I don't know what I want to do yet, so I'm just like playing with it. I think I'll mix these leaves over here. Like that. And then maybe have this one draping down in here. Something like that. They'll be tucked in more though. And I think I like what I originally had, where I had like these over here, because these are kind of rose leaves. And then I had like 2 clusters of these together over here, like that. I think that's prettier, don't you? I think that's a little nicer. I think I like that better. Okay. And I'm not sure if I'm even going to use the pine. I could, but I feel like it's unnecessary. Maybe one little piece. Plus I didn't really die cut it that well, so I don't know if I want to use it. Maybe one little piece of it. What do you guys think? Let's get the other greenery on lockdown here. So I'm going to just put this down using tape, and then I'm going to pop the flowers up. So that's why I like to have the flowers in place, so I know where I'm putting the greenery. And then we've got to add our little dots to the poinsettia. I love this poinsettia. I do really love this poinsettia. It is totally my favorite poinsettia flower. It's so elegant, and it's just so delicate. Let's move this one up a little bit. That makes it look different if you just position it a little differently. And then we'll get this one in here. Like that. All right. And then we'll pop these up. But before we do that, and this maybe isn't the right order to do it, but I'm going to do it this way. Let me just get a little piece of bent paper over here. I have a gel pen somewhere. Here it is. I'm going to start the gel pen. There's the gel flowing out of the pen. I'm going to fill in these little dots here to make them pop. There we go. Now I know they're normally yellow, but I feel with this color scheme, this works. So we're going to go with it. So let's pop this one up first. I know that was kind of scary. I do have a gold gel pen, and that would probably be a little more realistic because it's more like yellow, but we'll do it this way. It's okay. Do that one. We'll let that dry, and then we'll put this flower here. Yeah, it kind of allows you to see it, right? I mean, the dots were there, but this allows you to see them a little bit more.
What brand is that gel pen?
That's a Uniball Signo gel pen, and we have this on our website, so you can find it there. We've got the silver and the gold as well, which are fun, especially for Christmas. It's really fun, too, to have a silver and a gold gel pen in your collection for just, like, writing on the inside of holiday cards. So we made our own little ephemera thing. Now I'm not sure if do I want this in front? I might. I feel like the poinsettia, you know, like wants to be the star of the show. And then we're going to add this just off to the side here like this. I think that's going to be good. All right. I'm glad that worked because I had no idea if it would. But again, it's not really about the card layout. I mean, the card layout's okay, but, oh, and also, here's something. Since I'm going to be overlapping this a little bit, like this, I just have to see, like, I'm going to just do the Happy Holiday. I'm not going to do, do the H. I'm just going to tape the H and it'll stick to the poinsettia.
I had an Happy Holiday once.
I'm such a goofball. Happy holidays. Okay. Use my tools, not jewels here. And let me get my tweezer so I can be Mindy. Okay. Actually, the tweezer really does help you line it up and make it look straight.
It's like the Wiggly sign yesterday.
The Wiggly... Do you guys have Piggly Wiggly grocery stores where you're at? Well, our Piggly sign was out when we drove by, and I just said to Tom, do you need anything at Wiggly? It's like, what are you talking about? Okay, so I might add a couple little gold metallic things, but what do you think? No line coloring? Come on, that's no line coloring. Where's Karen Hightower? Where's Mindy? That is no line coloring. They are the pros at that. Maybe Jennifer knows how to do that too, but I don't. So I do it this way now. And I think that's just enough. I am really impressed though with the with all of you out there that know how to do it. Okay, gold pearls would be lovely. I saw that comment. I'm going for the gold pearls. Going for it. Oh my gosh, look at me. I've got masking magic stuck to my shirt. I am truly a mess today. It all started with the live, not living. All right. Let's find just a couple little babies here. One up there. So I will take a good quality picture of this. Oh, do you know what would be pretty too? I didn't even think of it, but you could do like a gold cluster of pearls in there too. If you wanted the gold, you could do those little pearls in there, and that would look really pretty. We'll just do 3. Maybe we'll do more. Do one down there. Do a big one. I'm gonna do something. I feel like that's good. That's just enough. A little touch of gold. Just, you know, since the greeting has gold, I feel like it's never a wrong time to add embellishments. All right, and there is the finished card. Yep, no line, faux line coloring right there. There you go. There you have it. What do you think, Tom?
That's pretty nice.
Pretty fun?
Yeah.
And, you know, I know it felt like it took forever to make this card, but remember, we did the coloring a couple of different times with some different color combinations, and really, as fast as you could whip this card out quick. Because these are easy to do. You know, there's no learning curve with the foiling at all. But you don't have to foil. You could just add a greeting, or you could emboss that. You know, use the stamp set and emboss it in gold embossing powder, and it would be just as lovely. So, all right. Well, we have to give away a gift card to these lovely people that have been hanging in there for almost an hour and 45 minutes.
All right,
I mean, my hair is all droopy. I've got masking magic all stuck to me. What a day.
Okay, take a deep breath.
Okay.
Drum roll, please. Here we go. Winner today, LuJean Ott. LuJean Ott,
Yay!
you're the winner today.
Congratulations. All right. Well, you are the winner of the $15 Gina K Designs gift card just in time for our new release coming on Tuesday night. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com and let them know that you won the gift card, and they will get that emailed out to you. All right, everybody. Well, this was so much fun. Sneak peeks are going to start today in our Facebook group. We've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of sneak peeks. So if you are not a member of our Facebook group, we would love to have you. The name of the group is called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. You can head over to Facebook and type that into your search bar over on Facebook, Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. Tom, you want to throw that across the screen, and you'll be able to find us over there. Join the group. It's a private group. If you want to share Christmas cards, nobody will see them unless they're in the group because it's private. And then if you saw anything you liked today, make sure that you head over to our website at ginakdesigns.com. And if something's out of stock, you can always click the Notify Me button. Good news, the Intracut is back in stock. For those of you that have been waiting for our die cutting machine, you can get yours now. And gosh, I don't know what else to say, except this was so much fun today. So you guys, we'll be back on Tuesday night with our release party, so we hope you will join us. That will start at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, here on YouTube, also in our Facebook group, and on Twitch. In the meantime, everybody, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.